Audit has come out this week that there was, $20 million in questionable spending. The AG is calling for Shelley Zumwalt to step down. What do you make of all this?
Well, first off, a couple of things there, and I hope Oklahomans can hear me on this. You're taking a very small time period, like 2020, and in 2020, President Trump had issued a catastrophic and declared an emergency all across the country. As we know, COVID was hitting. It was unusual times. We saw a 1,000% increase in unemployment claims just in that first month in March of 2020. And so we were directed to try to get money out as quickly as possible. And so for the auditor to say that we're a no bid state, in other words, we don't go through an RFP process, is really unfair, and it's confusing Oklahomans, because you're talking about a 6-month period of time during that catastrophic declaration of an emergency. And the other thing that I think is important, in that 10 months, that first 10 months, OESC put out $3.8 billion to Oklahomans that were on unemployment. And that was more than they had done for 10 years previously. So it's kind of a weird time. So I just vetoed a bill this year, talking about the bills that I vetoed. I don't know, I can't remember if it's a House bill or a Senate bill, but I vetoed a bill to try to do another exclusion from the RFP process. So a single source that was put to my desk by the House and the Senate. And we're not for single sourcing. We are for a transparent process, but you really can't pick on this. The other thing I think is weird is, why was this not out in the 21 audit or the 22 or the 23 audit? Why does it come out today talking about 2020 numbers? And my suggestion to you is, you're going to see more of this stuff, because if you remember, go back to 2022 when I was running for re-election. You remember the Swadley's deal, where they were saying that the state lost $16 million. Again, the state didn't lose $16 million. We own all the assets. We own all the restaurants. They're up and going, but there's a dispute with the vendor. So there's a lawsuit back and forth. We're going to hold every vendor accountable in the state of Oklahoma. If there's employees that are doing something wrong, let's hold them accountable, 100%. Nobody should not be held accountable in the state of Oklahoma. Vendor, employee, it doesn't matter. So we're all for that transparency. But I think what Oklahomans need to understand is, you've got an AG that's already said he's running for governor. You've got an auditor who's running for lieutenant governor. And within an hour, we got no notice. The House didn't get any notice. Within an hour, they've coordinated their press statements on this 200-page report. What I'm trying to say is, when you politicize, you try to attack other political opponent, it's just very frustrating for Oklahomans, and you can't weaponize your offices for political gain. It's just the height of Oklahomans can see right through it. But my fear is it's going to be happening more and more as we get into 25 and we get into 26. I'm just letting you know it's more of it's coming. And when the AG attacked Tim Gatz and our secretaries, and Shelley Zumwalt was on the lawsuit back against the Attorney General. And so, again, it's just super disappointing. Let's hold people accountable, but let's not get politics involved in this stuff.
Just to follow up on that, Governor, do you have confidence in Director Zumwalt continuing on your cabinet and the tourism department?
Shelley, I think she should stay as the director of tourism. She's already been confirmed by the Senate, I think a year ago. And this was all this stuff was known a year ago by the Senate during her hearing. She's already been confirmed. And, Shelley is a public servant, and she's worked for state government for 12 years. She's not an elected politician. These people that work in state government, we have about 31,000 state employees. They didn't sign up for this kind of stuff. So she's offered, she said, hey, Governor, until this is all sorted out, I will step down from the cabinet and just focus on tourism. And so we may do that. I'll probably call her and let her know. But she said, hey, I don't need to be in the limelight here. If I'm causing the administration any problems, I'll just step down as secretary and focus on tourism. And so that may be what happens. And I think that would also help the Senate, wouldn't put them in a bad situation to have to kind of make a decision on her confirmation. So that may be what happens, but again, all this is going to flush out, right? And we're going to make sure that people are held accountable, and I think that's what we all want as Oklahomans. But there is some, and when you tie the you connect the dots, there's some stuff that looks weird.